We waited 5 years for this. But what if I told you James Bond's comeback isn't happening on the big screen? That's right, it's in your hands. Because 007 First Light, this isn't just a game trailer drop. It's a full-blown origin reboot for the most iconic spy in pop culture. And it's changing everything. Short sentences, brutal impact, instant curiosity. From the very first shot, we're not watching Bond walk into a casino with a tux and a vodka martini. Shaken, not stirred. We're watching his parents fall to their death. He's 11, alone, and already surviving. This ain't a sequel, this is the DNA blueprint. Get ready, we're decoding every frame, every hidden detail, and every gameplay hint. Story breakdown, character analysis, villain theory crafting, Easter eggs, and that raw trailer energy. Let's break it all down. 007 First Light is the boldest, darkest, and most exciting Bond game we've ever seen. Let's dive in. This game's title, First Light, sounds poetic, clean, but it hides teeth. Not just the beginning of Bond's journey, but the villain's master plan, a dark project, codenamed First Light. I'm calling it now. This name's got double meaning written all over it. The teaser image dropped on June 2nd, a silhouette Bond, no face, no name, just shadows. Social media went full detective mode. Some saw Brosnan, some saw Craig, IO intuitive. They're playing 4D chess. They knew fans would project their dream Bond onto that shadow. Turns out it's neither. It's Patrick Gibson, an all-original 007 built just for this game. And he's not your usual stiff tuxedo type. He's got a scar, cocky smirk, and a vibe straight out of early Fleming sketches. Fans of older Bond games, this already hits like Agent Under Fire. Exclusive game-only Bonds are back, baby. But with modern tech and cinematic storytelling, it feels like everything or nothing got injected with adrenaline and ambition. Even the trailer typeface channels Spectre and Craig era vibes, but don't get it twisted. The moment that trailer rolls, the tone shift is brutal. We get a young Bond's trauma, a new M grooming him for the 00 program, and a hardline mentor named Greenway who sees him as a reckless agent. He's a bullet with no target until now. Patrick Gibson's Bond is not a reboot of Craig or Brosnan. He's a strategic reinvention, and from his very first appearance, it's obvious this game's going for depth. Scar on his cheek? That's pure Fleming. Rarely done in film because it's a makeup nightmare. But in a game? Heck yeah! It's detail we never got before. He's 30 in real life, which makes him the youngest playable Bond we've ever had. That's not just trivia, that's a statement. They're setting him up as cocky, raw, still green, and dangerously overconfident. And honestly, it works. His vibe? Way more Tom Holland swagger than Daniel Craig brooding. And there's power in that. The Craig Bond was emotionally heavy, post-Skyfall, wary. This guy? Fresh, flirty, and reckless. And that choice says everything. Let's talk legacy. Connery was 32 in Dr. No, Lazenby was 29, so this isn't new, but it's the attitude that separates them. This Bond isn't just young, he's unproven. And that's what makes First Light so damn interesting. We're going to earn the tux, not inherit it. And trust me, it's not just aesthetics. There's training sequences, boot camps, evaluation drills. You can see the MI6 infrastructure shaping this guy into real time. It's more origin than Casino Royale ever was. This is Bond with dirt under his fingernails, and we're going to witness every scrape. The narrative in First Light pulls no punches. The setup is classic espionage with modern flair. Bond, a naval airman, performs a heroic act and gets offered a slot in a freshly revived 00 program. Sound familiar? Sure, but then it twists. His first mission? Stop a rogue agent. Outcome? Catastrophic. Lesson? You don't survive on luck. You survive on skill and trust. Enter Greenway, reluctant mentor, hardline skeptic. He thinks Bond's a liability. M thinks otherwise. Conflict sparks and you're in the middle. This dynamic already hints at deep character work. Think GoldenEye if Alec Trevelyan was still alive. But this time Bond's Trevelyan is on his side. For now. Trailer clues point to 009 being the villain, or at least the traitor. That's got GoldenEye rogue agent energy written all over it. And yes, I'm hoping we get some meta callbacks. GoldenEye style gadgets, please and thank you. Then we've got glimpses of a long-haired villain, chessboard symbolism, and what looks like a Roman statue face killer robot. Or android. Or maybe just a dude in a really freaky mask. Either way, it's different, it's stylish, it's ominous. There are hints of internal betrayal, conspiracy, and a looming coup at the heart of the state. That's political thriller territory, and it could add real weight to the usual Bond bombast. This ain't just shoot the bad guy, save the girl. It's layered and personal. Let's talk gameplay. Because this isn't just a story trailer. Blink and you'll miss the third-person action shots sprinkled between the cutscenes. But if you know your Bond games, you saw it. Bloodstone vibes, everything or nothing control flow, and a style that screams choose your approach. Go loud or silent, fists or firepower, gadgets or charm. This is the sandbox-style Bond fantasy we've been begging for. That Steam description, it's gold. It promises stealth, action, infiltration, deception, and replayable missions with modifiers. You can play your way. That's not just good design, that's Bond design. And don't worry about Eon restrictions. Remember when we heard developers weren't even allowed to show Bond shooting guns? Not here. He blows up gas canisters, sprays bullets, throws weapons, full John Wick mode. This is the first Bond game in a decade that feels dangerous. One clip shows him using his phone like a dart gun. Another shows him chucking a sidearm mid-fight. This is the kind of detail that makes a difference. And yes, driving is back. And we're not just talking DB5. There's a classic Aston Martin on the construction and Q branch, and you better believe that thing has gadgets. The return of gadgets. The return of freedom. The return of chaos. Q's back. But he's not just your nerdy desk jockey. This Q, he looks like a retired agent himself. Cravat, slick hair, Bond energy. If this guy isn't hiding a few field stories of his own, I'll eat my Omega watch. His Q branch is stacked with gadgets. Flame shooting from a bike? Check. Hidden dart guns? Confirmed. Omega sponsorship? You know it. The attention to detail in this lab screams replay value, and that's everything you touch might become a toy later on. We also meet a new Moneypenny. Not Naomi Harris this time, and definitely not the gunslinging type. She feels more like an MI6 analyst. Grounded, classic. She's not here to shoot side by side, she's here to steer Bond from behind the desk. And honestly, that's contrast with his young, chaotic 007 feels right. Then there's M, possibly played by Priyanka Burford, but who even had a cameo in No Time to Die. She's younger than expected, which might play into her arc. A newer M guiding a newer Bond in a familiar office that screams Ralph Fiennes nostalgia. And then we've got the Bond girl mystery. Flirty maid, Aston Martin passenger, champagne gala date. Mullen Chin says they're all the same woman, and she might not be a damsel. Maybe she's an agent too. Multiple Bond girls? Count me in. This game feels like it's honoring classic Bond without leaning on old tropes. This trailer is packed with sly nods that hardcore fans will eat up. Is that an android, an exosuit, a disguise? It doesn't matter. It's unique, it's creepy, and loaded with potential. And speaking of potential, this is the first Bond game to seriously build a Bond universe. Side characters with arcs, replayable missions, downloadable skins. Yes, that tactical turtleneck from Live and Let Die is real, and you know they're gonna drop that white tux from Goldfinger. Just take my money now. Even the soundtrack ties to talk nostalgia strings through. Personally, I've got a bone to pick. Look, I get it. On Her Majesty's Secret Service has a killer theme. But do we have to hear it in every reboot trailer? I want a full-on Bond-themed bombast, not moody build-up. Still, I can't be mad for long. The fact that we're even getting these deep musical pulls proves that IO cares about legacy. So, where does this all leave us? 007 First Light is shaping up to be the boldest Bond game ever made, and we're barely scratched the surface. A brand new Bond, fresh origin story, full cinematic immersion, gameplay freedom, stealth, gadgets, actions, and enough replay value to keep MI6 busy until 2026. We're not just watching Bond, we're becoming Bond. And that's a whole new mission. But now I want to hear from you. Are you vibing with this new take on James Bond, or are you holding out for a return to classic Bond tropes? And who do you think the real villain is? 009, the android face statue man, or someone else lurking in the shadows? Smash that like button like you're trying to disarm a nuke with 1 second left on the timer, but this time you want it to blow. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on those notifications so you don't miss the next level up gaming deep dive. We've got missions stacked like MI6 files, and you're on the shortlist. And hey, when this video wraps, pick your next level up side quest. Maybe it's a deep dive, or maybe it's a games done right. Maybe it's our new game breakdown. Either way, the missions board's open. Grab your Walther PPK, check your gadgets, and prep for the next Intel drop. Thanks for watching. This is Spawn, and I'll catch you in the next one.